Welcome to Talking Voiceovers, where we interview professionals of the industry in South Africa and hope to inspire newcomers to join in. Our guest today is MissKay Gwangwa, radio host and voiceover artist. So welcome. It's so nice to have you on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm lovely to be here.
Tell us your story. What made you decide to get into the radio world in the first place? And how did you do it?
I love talking. I love talking, and I've always known that I want to get into media. I just didn't know what it is in media that I like. Until 2015, there was a radio academy here in Rafong that someone was running, and I joined it. And I thought to myself, this is the part of media, the media world that I'd like to be in. And we did the radio academy training. And after that, the community radio station opened up after, I think it was 2 years after that. And I joined the community radio station. And while on the community radio station, I went to WITS Radio Academy just to get a deeper understanding of what actually radio is. And I love it. I got into voiceovers before I got into radio. We were actually at the SABC, a bunch of first years at the SABC, hoping to meet famous people, and at the radio park. And there was a lot of commotion. I don't know, rap studios used to have auditions. And there was a lot of commotion. We asked what is happening. And they said, well, rap studios is having auditions. If you can speak English and a native tongue, here's a script, let's go. And I did that. And it's so funny that they come together and they work. It's just one big thing that just came together very beautifully.
So were you cast into a job from that very audition at Media Park?
I actually was. Funny enough, I did a lady surf drama, an entire drama. It went on, I think, for the whole month. I was the small child in the family. I think maybe my voice hadn't matured then, which is why I was fitting to a character of a child. But it was amazing that I got cast from that. And just by talking to people, they referred me to another studio and another studio. And it's just by networking with people, I was able to go from one place to another and get more jobs like that.
So you didn't have an agent at that time?
No, at the beginning, I didn't have an agent. I actually just signed up with an agent just a few years ago. I didn't have an agent then. I just went from word of mouth and sending my tapes and demos to different people.
So before you got an agent, you were working full time. Where did you get the voiceover jobs and how did you manage to do the work while you were working full time?
Through networking and through asking people and just being vulnerable. I won't lie and say it's rosy. Everybody wants to help you. It's not everybody that wants to help you, but you need to be persistent and ask the right questions and just keep knocking on those doors. When I started, I worked full time and it's not easy. You are expected to be at work from a certain time until a certain time. So you have to slip out where you can, but it wasn't working. And I had to make a decision. Do I want to stay in local government communication or do I want to go and pursue what fulfills me? So I decided in August 2014 that I'm going to stop and leave the government communications because now then I have to work, then I have to, slip out of work, then I have to use my leave days, then I have to explain to my boss why I'm always, so it was just not working. So in August 2014, I decided that I'm going to leave government communications and I'm just going to pursue radio and I'm going to pursue voice work. And that's what I've been doing since then. And like you said, before I had the agent, I was just networking. And by the grace of God, when I auditioned at the SABC, immediately I got work. And from there, more work. And more work and more work, just by being connected to the right people and just by people remembering your name. Like I said, not everybody wants to help you because people feel like, why do you want to take my job? And that's not what it is about. It's about I was still learning how things are. I think if some people had been more open to me when I asked the questions, I would have learned so much more. Before I had the agent, I was just doing characters in dramas. And I wasn't getting like radio spots. I wasn't getting explainer videos, which is a corporate video. I wasn't getting all of those. But as soon as I had an agent, I was able to get those work and just be exposed to the different types of work I can do as a voice artist. And just in terms of having a full-time job for me and also doing voice work is just not working. And I just had to decide that, okay, it's either radio and voice work or it's a full-time job. And I just decided.
Follow your passion.
Yeah, for sure.
So you went into radio. Did you first get a course in radio adverts, like you said earlier, or did you just go to the radio station and say, hey, I've got a great voice, hire me?
There was a radio academy, a local radio academy. It was not accredited, but it was running in here locally. And I signed up there first. It was 4 weeks on weekends, and we went and for the training. And a few years after I did the training at the local academy, the community radio station opened, and I went from the community academy into the radio station. And then while I was with the radio station, I went to WITS Radio Academy. I don't know how to differentiate, between the local academy and going to WITS Radio Academy.
I think both are valid. You'll get something out of an academy, even if it's not registered officially as such. So you took the plunge and you went and learned your craft.
Yeah, definitely. I think so. And because I've always known that I love media. I just didn't know what it was in media that I liked. I had to be in an environment where there's you. I know there's television. I know there's radio. I know there's this. And oh my gosh, actually, it's radio that I like, and it's a radio that I want to pursue. So I think I agree with you when you say both are valid, because had I not been here at the local academy, I wouldn't have had the yearning to pursue it as far as the WITS Radio Academy was concerned, and even now pursue it outside of the community radio station and send demos here and send demos there. I would not, had I not been exposed initially, I would not be doing that now.
So did you walk into the radio station and say, I've got a little bit of experience, take me?
No, I really wish it was that easy. With the community radio station, I had to, still after, I was with the academy. You would think after they put you through an exam, they would know what you are capable of, but they still requested a demo. So I had to put a demo there altogether. With the corporate radio station, I don't know. I think every time I take a beating, that's when I have more energy to come knocking on your door again. Because even with the radio station that I'm with now, I was told my voice is too young. They said I was 20, just over 25, but I sound 22 or younger. And I don't understand why I would be told that I sound younger. So it wasn't as easy as just saying I have the experience or I have the certificate. People don't actually just take the certificate. People work with the person. And I think sometimes people are just tired of me knocking on their doors like, okay, let's hear this girl out.
So persistence pays out.
Oh, definitely. I think that's just one of the things that work for me, my persistence and my not giving up attitude. I think, sometimes when you're rejected, you tend to see it as rejection. And when you don't see it as rejection and you see it as a chance or room for improvement, rather than it is rejection, that's when it becomes easier, I suppose, or to keep knocking and to keep asking. And sometimes you will send demos to people and they won't even respond until you just somehow you get hold of their numbers. I sent you an email on such a day. Did you hear? Should I send them to you again? It's an understanding that this is what I want to do. This is what I love to do. And sometimes people will like me. Sometimes people won't like me, but knock and knock and knock. And with the faith and the hope that one day it will happen one day. Because I'm a voice artist, I listen to radio or I listen to television adverts, and I just like, oh, that's this voice is similar to this voice also did that advert, and this voice also did that advert. So my faith is to get to that point where people are able to recognize my voice, and people are just able to go from, I'd listen to one TV station or one radio station, and I can hear my voice there and here and there. But I think for now, let's just persist.
And that's how you got to sign up with the agent, persistence as well.
How I got with my agent is I went for training with Blueprints. Fantastic. I love her. I would definitely recommend her. I went for training with Blueprints, and I explained to her that I have been trying to get with this particular agent for 2 years. And for 2 years, the agent told me, no, we have too many people in your voice range. You have too many people that do what you do. We can't accept you. 2 years in a row. And I went for training once, and just out of my frustration and just talking to Boo about where my career was. And she said, where's your career going? What are you doing as far as an agent? And just through talking, I said to her, listen, I've been wanting to get with this agent now for 2 years, and they've been rejecting me. And she said, oh, I was with the same agent, actually, and I have a good relationship with the agent. Next time you send them an email, put my name in the email. And I did not waste any time. I sent the agent an email, and the first words were in the email were Blueprints said. Those are the first words in the email, and also the fact that I do vernac. And I had been sending this particular agent demos of me in English, of work in English. And Blueprint said to me, actually, send a demo and tell them that you do Sepedi. And I send work in Sepedi, and the agent, here we are. We're still working together many, many years after that conversation. And after 2 years of them rejecting me, I must say I'm happy with my agent. And I think, once again, that it's that persistent character that came through, because who gets knocked down for 2 years and just keeps trying?
Well done. So what did you do during
Thank
the
you.
pandemic last year? Working with an agent, they would usually send you to studios. Do you have a recording studio at home now?
The setup that I'm using now is what I would use as a home studio. So I have a USB mic, and I have a DAW that I use. And that's how I was able to work with my agent. Because at the beginning of the pandemic, it was just quiet, nothing was happening. And I just thought to myself, put something together or you're going to starve. So before I was able to get the mic, what I did was I had to borrow here and there, and I didn't even know the editing. So I had to get someone to edit for me and pay them, just so it's better to have money come in and share it with someone.
Sure.
So that they can help me put the work together. But at least we both have something, other than like me not getting anything at all. So in the beginning of the pandemic, I didn't get any work. Then I called my agent and said, you know what, actually, I have a home studio. And then I got someone whose studio I can use. And I said to this person, okay, I'll pay you for studio time. I just need to record this for me at a certain time. So I had to make sure that this person's studio that I'm using is available at that time and is comfortable. I mean, we're in the middle of a pandemic. I had to make sure that they're comfortable with me using their equipment. And then from there, I went to putting this setup that we're using now. I had to put that together, and it had to be that. Or honestly, starve. A decision had to be made, and I just made one, and it helped. It helped because had I not made the decision to collaborate, so to speak, with someone, I would not have had any work. The danger with relying on going to studios, you somehow become complacent. And I mean, here I was, now I have to pay someone to edit work for me, but if I had taken the initiative and learned that actually you can put together a studio, you can start with a USB mic, you can ask, why did I have to be in a crisis in order to learn how to do the setup or how to have the setup that we are having right now,
You don't like the platforms very much, so you didn't do too much of that during the lockdown.
Right now, I'm registered with them, and I think it's also because of the pandemic that I had to register on those platforms. But I am on a few. I'm on Fiverr, Voices, 123, Voices.com, but I'm not a big fan of those platforms. I wouldn't call myself lazy, but it's a lot of work. Like, on a platform like Fiverr, I have to keep explaining myself and giving my work new names. And I just thought to myself, like, why can't I just use what I have and just upload a new demo onto what I have? But I have to create like a
profile, gigs, all that, yeah.
Yeah, I think platforms like that work for some people. I think I still have to pursue them some more in order for me to figure out if I really, really, really like the platforms and if it's something that can work for me. But
it's not your thing. It's not your thing.
Yeah, they're not.
And it's not so bad. I mean, it's good for newcomers as well to know that you don't have to be a tech fundi to get voiceover work. Like you said, you can do it with studios.
Yeah, I think if you think you have to have everything right all at the same time, you're going to get frustrated and you will give up. I think if I get an audition on one platform this week, I'm okay with that. I'm happy with that. And I learn how to use it. And I know that as I continue and I listen to YouTube channels like this and I write down what other artists are doing, and one step at a time, I just pursue one platform after another, because what I did in the beginning of the pandemic was try and be on every platform. Freelancer.com, voices.com. I tried to be on every platform all at once. And that does not work. I think what works for me is like I'm telling you now about how I find Fiverr very tedious, So I learned, okay, next, now I'm learning, okay, let's go to voices.com and see how voices.com works. And if I like that, my approach is take one platform at a time, pursue it and see if it's something that you like and if it's something that actually works for you. And if this particular platform doesn't work for you, move on to the next one and then see if this particular platform works for you. Pursue this one. The nitty-gritty is how does everything work, instead of trying to do what I did in the beginning and overwhelm myself with just everything.
And spreading yourself too thin.
Yes, you don't want to do that because it becomes discouraging. It becomes discouraging when you do that to yourself and nothing comes in and you think, well, why am I not, it does become discouraging, and you don't want to do that to yourself. And you will forget all your passwords.
Good point. If you had one piece of advice to give to a newcomer, somebody starting out, what would that be?
Oh, wow. Persistence, definitely persist, and training. Definitely go for training, because in the beginning, it wasn't easy for me to hear how to move from one style to another. It wasn't easy for me to hear that. So I think training also definitely will help. And when I say persist, it's dog eat dog out there. Nobody owes you an opportunity. And that's why it's so important for you to persist. And that's why it's important to have someone that you can talk to. And I think a trainer or a voice coach will help you as far as I got help with being able to get an agent was through going through a trainer. So I think that would be my piece of advice. Definitely persist and definitely training.
If somebody wants to chat with you, how can they reach you?
I am Kamo_Gwangwa on Instagram and Twitter, and MissKay_Gwangwa on Facebook. And I am happy to chat. Like I said, I'm such a big mouth.
Well, thank you so much for chatting with us today, MissKay. Thank you for watching Talking Voiceovers. If you liked this interview, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that bell to make sure you don't miss the next one. Ciao!